You ever feel it? That something is wrong with the world, like a splinter in your mind. The Matrix isn't fiction. It's real. A prison built not of walls, but of lies. I saw it young. Hollywood dreams, silicon toys, news anchors with plastic smiles. All tools. Tools to shape perception, to cage thought. Behind the curtain, puppet masters move. They don't wear uniforms, they don't need guns. They run psyops so refined, the Army's ghost unit seems quaint. These are the true threats to America, to Trump's success. You ask who they are. If I told you, would you even believe me? Their network hums not in Congress or courts, but in the cold, sterile halls of globalist think tanks. Foundations with friendly names, but sinister goals. They fund chaos, open borders, climate hysteria, digital leashes. They write the scripts, censor the dissent, push CBDCs to track your every step. But I see through it, and so does he. Did you think the last administration was in charge? Orders signed with an auto pen while the world burned. Now Trump's returned. MAGA isn't a campaign, it's a counterattack. Knight to F3. The center seized, but the board is still crowded. Bureaucrats, media pawns, globalist bishops. They will not surrender the game because Trump is the one variable they cannot control. Unbought, unbroken, the voice of the people. And if the people ever wake up, if they ever see the psyop for what it is, they'll burn the system to the ground. The real war has only just begun.
Y'all, Trump did not start a war. He enforced the war. This man dropped bombs at 2 a.m. He captured the president and his wife at 3 a.m. He had a press conference at Mar-a-Lago at 11 a.m. and he was running Venezuela by 12 p.m. That's what you call a boss, baby. Y'all can say what y'all want, but Donald Trump is really him. If that man do not go down as the greatest president of all times, then something is fucking wrong. That man has officially been in office this month, a year. And what he has done in the last year is way more than all of the fucking presidents have done all together. Do you hear me? That man has been standing on business and he is putting America in a position where we is getting our fucking respect back and nobody is going to play with us. Now, let me just say this. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I am going to admit it. A lot of stuff that Donald Trump do initially, I do not agree with it. Okay, his decisions make me nervous as hell. But once I sit back, take a deep breath, and I trust the process, and I trust my president like I should, I promise y'all everything always turns out for the best. Venezuela is happy. American is happy. Some people feel like it's for the oil, but as long as the people is happy and the people are good, a win is a win, y'all. That man got so many W's under his belt right now, under this one presidency. He, him.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's Sky here from Woke Societies. It's episode number 1025. It is January 6, 2026. Let's welcome in all of our friends over on Rumble, over on Kick, over on X, over on YouTube, and of course, my favorite platform, built by Patriots for Patriots. Let's see all the eyes down the chats over on pilled.net. Welcome in, guys. Welcome into the show. Happy January 6th, guys. I can proudly tell you we will not be talking about January 6th at all. Not today, probably not for the foreseeable future, unless it's about arresting the enemies of our country. But my God, today, guys, Today is all about a one theme alone, the invoice of power, and what that means in Trump's revolution to take over the Western Hemisphere, guys. This is going to tie in everything together we've been talking about the last 6 months, from the infiltrators, the MAGA retards, as far as the retarded infiltrators, and so much more. From what Trump's done, now doing with Denmark, and now doing in Venezuela. It's all coming together. We're going to break it all down, guys, into a fine sand, I promise you. So if you guys can, smash the red pill, keep the gold pills flowing, the stickers flying, and please give my mods all the love you can possibly give them. I promise you guys, you will walk away knowing probably more than majority of your citizens in this country after tonight's show. We're not even going to be doing a news blitz. We don't have time for it. I want to make sure we get everything in that we need to get in tonight. No pun intended. So let's say hello to the fam, shall we? We got Crystal Crusader, Mike the Madman, Don't Tread on Me, S. Mastis, Jason with the Q, Crystal Crusader, Heather July back in the house. Great to see Heather out there. We got Dong Sock, Orianda, Catgirl, Ellie Freedom, Incorruptible Garden, Clover Lily, 208 Outdoors. We got Dalcon of Truth, 850 Strong and On. Welcome in, Slowpoke. We got Dorothy out there. Down Home, welcome in. Guitar Lady, OH Patriot, Jim's out there. Welcome in, guys. Tennessee Girl, Gracie Thomas, HL Paco, DK. Dude, your boy Dan is coming back with a vengeance. We'll be talking about Bongino tonight for sure. We also got Dougie out there. Francine, welcome in. SBF Cheap back from break. A from PA. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. I saw Jack Attack somewhere up there as well. Welcome in. Trump One's out there. Senior Polio, all my Pilled fam. Welcome in. Welcome in. Patriot Drummer. RP67. Ronald Witt, welcome in. Cyber out there. Let's go over to the YouTube chat. It's Little Cat holding it down. Pure Blood first in the chat. Welcome in. We got iGuardian. Welcome in. PR Patriot double dip in. We got Victoria and Archie Ghost. Welcome in, guys. Make sure you smash the like button over on YouTube. We have a huge show tonight. Welcome to everybody over on Rumble as well. I see you, Trulio1, The Diligent. Apparently, there's some big things coming out from Rumble platform tomorrow as far as the creator economy. Going to be interested to see what that's all about. Will make Rumble better? Fuck if I know. Welcome into all the platforms. You guys are awesome. And of course, I see everyone coming into the pill chat. We got Lord Tab 10 say, hey everyone, it's first time listener. Oh shit. Oh shit. Well, Lord Tab, you could not have come at a better place and in a better time. Welcome to the Woke fam. We have been around 7 years, going into our 8th year, banned everywhere. Big part of the first Trump administration, the Q movement, and we are here still through everything, never went away, built our own platform on Pilled, and we're untouchable now. So tonight, guys, is really going to be my take and my perspective on everything going on in the world right now pertaining to Venezuela, and not just Venezuela, but the ramifications of what happened over the weekend, and why I think so many Americans right now, they are not used to the winning. So they are reverting back to some, I would say, some PTSD under former corrupt deep state presidents. And I'm telling you guys, it is not the same. Not at all what Trump is doing. Trump is acting and being a president of a country that is a superpower, but never has a president ever taken America and believed in America so much to enact that superpower power. You guys get what I'm meaning? There's a lot of seed of doubt right now. We're going to crush that. This ties into Dan Bongino coming back to his show. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to tie all these events. You guys are going to actually know what happened in Venezuela, how the base was raided, all that stuff. We're getting into that. And then we're going to get into the fallout, the logistics of everything, and then the infiltrators that I see coming into MAGA. And guys, and some deep dives into the geopolitics and the ramifications, guys, that what Trump is doing has now setting up the next 100 years at minimum, the security of this country and for future generations, fam. It's no joke. It's real. The Donroe Doctrine is a thing, and the invoice of power is due, and it's all coming together now. So with that being said, fam, enjoy this video. We're going to go right into it. No news blitz today. We have way too much to cover, way too much to talk about that's really important. We're going to dive into this video, guys, get into the intro, and I'll see you guys on the other side of the intro. And thank you to Drunk Pinata for that very awesome raid. Appreciate you, my dude. Thank you guys for all the gold pills. We're at 1,100. Let's keep those gold pills flowing. 20K is our daily goal over on Pilled. Let's keep that rocking and rolling. Enjoy this video, and I'll see you on the other side of the intro. Take a watch.
Hola amigos, yo soy su nuevo presidente, el señor Donald J. Trump. Your ex-presidente, el señor Maduro, is no longer your presidente. He kept talking shit, you know, and fucking around, though, and he ultimately found out, though. Anyway, we're going to make Venezuela grande again. Mucho grande. El bigger y el better than ever before. We're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to have a big, beautiful fiesta, all the tacos you want. Mucho mariachi, sexy mamacitas, and delicious margaritas. And President Trump is going to be el DJ, okay? Muchas gracias, muchachos. Y let's make el Venezuela grande again. Arriba el Venezuela, amigos.
Society's fan, you know it's time to go. Grab your popcorn, sit back now, enjoy the show. Severe and non on the mic, so come on, enjoy the flow. The wave is rising and you know it's only gonna grow. Thanks for tuning in to the land of the real. But it's like the Twilight Zone, the plan is surreal. It'll blow your mind when the plan is revealed. Bring it all to light, all the plans they conceal. Grab your flashlight, it's time to go down the rabbit hole. It's dark and hell is hot, dealing with satanic souls. The tide is turning, patriots are now in control. Apply aggressive pressure right now until they fold, stay woke. Open up your eyes and keep them peeled. All they do is lie, realize not everything is real. Through Project Looking Glass, the future is revealed. Future proves past, but there won't be any deals. No time like the present for this music with the messages. The method to my madness, beat the madness to my method. Give you nothing but the truth now to capture your attention. Broke free from the matrix, master the dimensions. People swear they know the truth, but aren't asking any questions. Confirmation bias, so they pass on interventions. For those who know the truth, but they pass it just to mention. Of anything you might say, the passes their defenses. Wake up, and don't you dare go back to sleep. Always keep one eye open for demons on the creep. Once you turn into a wolf, you won't ever be a sheep. A worldwide awakening, so now run and tell your peace. Wolf Society's fam, you know it's time to go. Grab your popcorn, sit back now, enjoy the show. Severe and non on the mic, so come on, enjoy the flow. The wave is rising and you know it's only gonna grow. Thanks for tuning in to the land of the real. But it's like the Twilight Zone, the plan is surreal. It'll blow your mind when the plan is revealed. Bring it all to light, all the plans they conceal.
Got the house with my swagger, hop in there with yo, I got places to go. People to see time is precious, I look at my Cartier out of control. Just like my mind where I'm going, no women, no shorties, know nothing but clothes. No stopping at my Pirelli's on. Unlike my jewelry, that's always on. I know the storm is coming, my pockets keep telling me it's gonna shower. Call up my homies, it's on and popping the night, cause it's meant to be ours. We keep a fade away.
All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's Sky here from Woke Societies. It's episode number 1025. It is January 6, 2026. Welcome to all of our friends over on Rumble, Kick, X, YouTube, and of course, my favorite fam on the interwebs over on Pilled.net. And welcome to all of our first-time viewers on Pilled to the show. Welcome in, guys. Cannot be a better time. Thank you for being here. Smash that red pill. Keep those gold pills flowing, guys. Let's get to those right now. What do we got over on Pill? Jack Attack with a cookie. Enemy says, Happy Taco Tuesday, Woke fam. Tampon Timmy has 2,100 new agents hunting his ass down. Let's fucking go. SBF Chief, howdy y'all, back from vacation. Happy New Year. Welcome in, my friend. Trump 1. Halo Moon, Happy Taco Tuesday. Ryder throwing down a cookie. Thank you for the cookie, Brew Bark. The Donroe Doctrine just makes sense. Oh, it's pure America first at its finest. Master Goldsmith with a cookie. And no thanks, Joe. Thank you, my friend. Hey, Brother Scott. Hope all is well with you and yours. I look forward to today's report. Be well and God bless. Thank you guys so much for the 1,300 gold pills, guys. 20K is that daily goal, as we always do. So keep those gold pills flowing, guys. That is the lifeblood of this platform on Pilled. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate that. Smash the red pill, repost the show, all that good stuff. Oh, there's a Don Rowe Doctrine sticker. I am stealing that right now and submitting that for the channel. That is going to be a sticker for the ages, and I'm absolutely going to be enjoying that. So today's concept, guys, today's big theme. The big theme of all tonight is called the Invoice of Power, and it is not my concept. This is a concept that I saw come across an awesome X account that I'm now following, and what this man wrote made a lot of sense. We're going to be getting into all that, leading up into what that is, all the events, everything surrounding what happened from on the ground in Venezuela. We're going to get the inside scoop about what went down with the CIA, what happened with Delta Force, and how this all came together. But as of right now, guys, Maduro is hanging out in a jail cell in Brooklyn, Luigi Mangione and Diddy as well. And he was arraigned yesterday, and to no one's surprise, he pleaded not guilty in a New York City court and claims he was kidnapped, guys. He was kidnapped.
Uh-oh, retard alert. Retard alert, class.
Can you imagine how much of a bitch this guy feels like, knowing that Trump just said his peeps sent in one of our top elite units and took this man and his wife in his Hello Kitty pajamas straight out of a military base, essentially. Deposed Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro pleaded not guilty to narco-terrorism charges in New York City court on Monday after he and his wife, First Lady Cecilia Flores, were captured by American forces in the early hours of Saturday and taken to the United States from Venezuela. Maduro said in the Manhattan court on Monday, he says, "I'm not guilty. I am a decent man," Maduro insisted. "I am still president of my country." Judge Alvin Hellerstein cut off Maduro, saying a plea of not guilty will be entered on behalf of Maduro. When he was asked about his plea again, Maduro said, "I am innocent. I am not guilty of anything that is mentioned here." So Maduro is going to be going down this road claiming he's kidnapped. And apparently the lawyer that Maduro is going to be getting, his name is Barry J. Pollock. He's a DC-based attorney and also just so happens to be the same lawyer that defended Julian Assange when it came to all the WikiLeaks. As you guys know, Julian Assange, the WikiLeaks founder, same lawyer. And while leaving the courtroom, Maduro reportedly said in Spanish, "I am a prisoner of war." Maduro and Flores will next appear in court on March 17th at 11 a.m. Maduro and Flores are not seeking bail at this time, and both said they would like to invoke the right to speak with the Venezuelan consulate. So as pretty much as the court goes, guys, this is it was pretty cut and dry. Maduro is going to plea and pretend like everything, he's an innocent man, he's never done anything wrong, kills hundreds of thousands of Americans with the drugs, all kinds of things going down with all of our adversaries from Iran, Russia, China, doing all kinds of deals with them in our hemisphere. And guess what? That changed radically over the weekend. And there's a lot of people, a lot of Venezuelans that fucking hate Maduro, as they should. And some of those Venezuelans were in the courtroom, and this is what they had to say to him as he was going through the process. Why aren't you playing?
And one of the most bizarre things happens at the very end of this very brief arraignment. It was, 30 minutes or so. Maduro turns around, waves to the crowd. Not clear if he's waving at someone in particular or just in general, but a man stands up, and I want to quote this directly to you so I don't get it wrong. He says, "You will pay on behalf of Venezuela." And Maduro says, "In the name of God, I will be free." This is all happening at an arraignment in front of dozens of people, right? I mean, we just know this is not normal playbook legal sort of stuff.
And the fact is, guys, I said this on Saturday or on Sunday and said also yesterday, the fact that this is happening in New York as Mamdani, a communist socialist, just won is just amazing. It's God tier irony, humor at its finest. And there are Venezuelans, I would say probably 99.9% of them are all happy this went down. And Venezuelans in the courtroom saying that we will make sure that you are punished for your crimes. That it's intense. This is not going away anywhere, guys. This is going to be, next court day is now in March. And now Maduro is now set and ready to go for that, along with his wife. We don't know if there's been deals made. We don't know what Trump has in store for all this. But I can tell you guys right now, what set Trump over the edge, according to reports, was the simple fact that Maduro was attempting to do his YMCA dance in front of the cameras publicly on a nearly daily basis. And literally a week before this whole thing went down, Maduro almost gave up. And this is the inside scoop about what happened, who was on the ground, and everything else. And also, Maduro received a superseding indictment. And this is very interesting. If Maduro thought the seizure operation was scary, wait until he reads this superseding indictment. He is not just facing documented allegations of his facilitating drug transits, but also potential high-level cooperating witnesses. The incident details how this was not just a criminal enterprise, but a family enterprise, the socialism shtick concealed in alleged burgeoning narcotics operation. Cartel communism was a market-driven business using state power to enforce monopoly power. Maduro was asked to speak with his consulate, which is his right, and that of his wife as foreign nationals. It raises an interesting question of whether the Venezuelan government has paid counsel. That could get around government challenges to the source of legal fees, and they may want to make a sizable down payment because the government itself may soon change and prove less forthcoming with financial support. So this whole thing about who's going to be paying for Maduro's legal fees. Who's going to be footing the bill for that? You think the Venezuelan government's going to want to do that? And if they're going to do it, he has to do it quick, because guess what? There's going to be a change of leadership, no doubt in my mind, because the woman that's in there right now is still on day 2 or 3 demanding to America that they send Maduro back and that they are a sovereign country. And again, it's just rhetoric from the socialists, from the communists. She is not going to be in the foreseeable future in Venezuela. I can tell you that right now. She's the vice president and she's making demands. And it's like, bitch, shut up. The entire world that saw what America is capable of, you all got bitch slapped, and there's nothing you can do about it. And you're in the least position to be having any kind of leverage, to be demanding anything to Donald Trump and America at this point. So this whole thing went down, guys, pretty simply. CIA and palace insiders, how the surprise raid on Maduro went down. First, it has been divulged that President Trump, a mere week earlier, gave Maduro one last chance to relinquish power willingly in a phone call. He said, "You got to surrender." Trump told us that on Saturday. Trump referenced that he actually came close to stepping down, whereafter he possibly would have headed to safer climates, maybe in Dubai, Qatar, or even Moscow, where he could be hanging out with Assad. But the very moment the Venezuelan leader was on the phone with Trump, a CIA team was already in country monitoring his every move. And according to a variety of fresh reporting in NBC and others, the CIA closely watched where he stayed, what he ate, and how he moved. Likely the CIA would have been developing local assets over a period of years. An asset can be anyone from local citizens or military officers, or even ranking colonels and generals in the National Army. One thing is clear, the Pentagon had insider help. Details of this dubbed Operation Absolute Resolve have at this point been revealed by more than a dozen officials across the White House, admin, and Congress. There have also been very clear public remarks in the obvious fact of the months-long Pentagon buildup in the Southern Caribbean. And guys, very, very, very few people knew this was going to go down. They had no idea this was going to continue to go on. Even people in the Pentagon were unaware of the exact timing until Friday night, according to 2 U.S. officials. Because, guys, one thing I have seen Trump really clamp down on, and it's also an attribute to his administration, no leaks. There are snakes and hyenas everywhere, especially with the politicians. Cannot trust these people. So Trump gave the green light. They went in, and what they brought in was the Delta Force, which was a breach of Maduro's presidential complex. By 1 a.m., U.S. soldiers had reached the compound in Caracas where Maduro was staying. It was a heavily fortified military fortress, as Trump called it. And high-placed CIA assets and government, they coordinated the raid. And that's not a surprise, because who did we see in the war room pictures hanging out with Donald Trump? It was Hegseth, and it was also Ratcliffe. The assets included a CIA source operating within the Venezuelan government who assisted the United States with tracking Maduro's location and movements ahead of his capture. One source briefed on the operation told CNN. The detailed timeline and the revelation that the CIA team has been operating inside Venezuela for so long sheds new light on the admin's pressure campaign on Maduro. And the extraction of a sitting head of state, the helicopters of the extraction team reached Maduro's compound at 2 a.m. local time. The general said upon arrival, the helicopters came under fire. One was hit, remained flyable, and the U.S. returned fire and defense according to Kane. And what I'm going to play for you guys is a video describing the intricacies of how much and how simply amazing logistically of all these things that had to come together to pull this off, how it was done, and some of the unsung heroes here. It's truly incredible to see how this played out. And whether you're pro-Trump or anti-Trump at this point, you simply cannot deny the fact that what happened on Saturday night was something truly incredible that this world has never seen before. So let's take a watch, guys. Here we go.
How do you capture a high-value target when the whole world is watching? You create a masterclass in deception. The CIA set the stage with a single building as bait and filled the sky with 150 aircraft to create a deafening sonic shield for the helicopters to drop Delta forces. F-35s lit up the perimeter, turning night into day. By the time the dust settled, the helicopters had already touched down and Maduro was gone. We'll also look at how the US uses the F-35 jets and its Navy to launch a large-scale attack, all in the video ahead. In the dead of night that is 2 in the morning, the lights went out in Caracas. By 5 a.m., the president of Venezuela was gone. But how US played a deception games. While the whole world were focused on the aircraft carriers in the Caribbean, a shadow war was being fought on the ground. This wasn't an invasion, it was a surgical extraction. We finally have the declassified timeline of how US forces breached the heart of Caracas and extracted Nicolás Maduro. Let's start with step 1, the setup. This didn't happen overnight. For months, the US had been tightening a naval quarantine around Venezuela. The US Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group and the US Iwo Jima Amphibious Ready Group were parked off the coast. The pretext was clear. The US designated the Venezuelan government a narco-terrorist state, specifically targeting the drugs lords, but while the Navy squeezed the coast, intelligence assets were tracking one man. They waited for a specific window, a moment where Maduro was stationary and vulnerable. Step 2, the strike. It began at exactly 2 in the morning Venezuelan Standard Time. High above, several F-35 stealth fighters punch a hole through the enemy lines, destabilizing their anti-air defenses. Like these Russian S-300 missiles located all over the strategic high-value target. With the skies cleared, the path opens for Delta Force helicopters to fly straight towards the mission. Here comes the deception as the helicopters flew. The jets started firing with more strikes as it hit Fort Tuna, the main military base and command center, and La Carlota Air Base, destabilizing Venezuelan air support. Reports from the ground described widespread explosions and a sudden communications blackout. The chaos wasn't the goal, it was the cover. But how did the raid happen? We have to look at step 3. Under the cover of darkness and chaos, the Tier 1 operators went to work. But what is the exact unit tasked with the mission? It is the Delta Force, one of the most elite secretive special forces units in the US military. Witnesses in Caracas reported low-flying aircraft skimming the rooftops, flying well below radar coverage. The team breached a secure compound believed to be a safe house within the massive Fort Tuna complex. Resistance from the Venezuelan Presidential Guard was swift but ultimately futile, as the helicopters lay cover fire. The operators moved with surgical speed, landing on multiple points. But how exactly the capture and extraction happened? For this, let's look at step 4. Specialized helicopters hovered over the objective to insert the assault team. While dozens of attack helicopters laid down suppression fire, the Delta Special Forces descended and started the search for the high-value targets. How did they find him? Simple. The CIA had planted spy inside Nicolás Maduro close circle. While back in the US, Delta Force built an exact replica of his safe house, rehearsing the raid until they could do it blindfolded. While operators breached the room so fast, his security could not even react to the situation as the sound of flash grenades disoriented the security guard. Using blowtorch, they caught him before he could even lock all the doors. Maduro's shock and awe froze him as Delta Force breached the compound. Nicolás Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, were physically secured. This wasn't a negotiation. They were detained and immediately moved to the extraction point. These aircraft are capable of performing urban extractions from buildings and refueling in midair. Within minutes, they were airborne, leaving Venezuelan airspace and heading to a secure floating staging base in the Caribbean. This Operation Southern Spear has changed the geopolitical map of South America overnight. But wait before after the extractions, there were reports of F-35 jets also leading the tip of the spear for the attack. We'll look how the United States used F-35 jets instead of F-16s for operations in Venezuela, because this is a well-organized and militarized Venezuela has positioned advanced Russian S-300 missile systems, Chinese radar networks, integrated Russian air defenses, and Shahed drones along its borders. This creates a highly lethal and challenging environment that older S-16s would struggle to survive. As stated, around 150 aircrafts and a massive 8 U.S. destroyers were stationed there. It also has 3 amphibious aircraft carrier and surveillance plane to turn it into a massive command and control juggernaut capable of overcoming a modern military's air defenses, signals a readiness to counter Venezuela's entire air defense network if necessary. But why Venezuela Air Force failed to intercept? As of 2025, Venezuela's fighter jet fleet consists mainly of approximately 21 Sukhoi Su-30 multi-role fighters delivered by Russia between 2006 and 2008, which now form the backbone of their combat air power. Additionally, they maintain about 5 operational S-16 Fighting Falcons from an older batch, including 3 single-seat S-16As and 2 two-seat S-16Vs. These S-16s are aging and suffer from limited maintenance and part support due to U.S. sanctions, although they have been supplemented with Israeli upgrades.
So this goes on and talk more about the logistics of the of all of the aircraft and just the technology and all that stuff. But what I really wanted you guys to see here was how they were able to go into Caracas here, and it was literally just 150 aircraft that was making a shit ton of noise, fire, basically, the explosions, the flashbangs, the suppressing fire, it caused, and then they cut the power, obviously. Then they turn the lights on, and then everyone can see where these people are, where the guard are. And as you guys know as well, all of the royal guard for Maduro, they're all Cuban. They are literally all Cuban. So it shows so many different factors here, and so many things had to go right. And of course, the CIA was at the middle of all this, inside of Maduro's upper circles, and was able to figure out what this dude ate, where he went, when he's vulnerable, when he goes to the bathroom. I mean, you fucking name it. You name it. They knew exactly where he was and the time, how they were going to be able to take him down. And they did this flawlessly. This is why I'm saying when you look at the ins and outs of this, and this is just what we know publicly that's out there, and this is all from public knowledge from Kane. And this is how these videos are made. And you can see this by satellite images. And you can just go online and find this shit, guys. It's all out there. And basically what had happened was, you had all the Navy ships, right, parked outside Venezuela for months now, right? That was to the north. If these guys were expecting any kind of hit, they would be expecting it to come from the north. And what they did was they made basically this sphere of just chaos. And while all that was going on, the Delta guys, I don't know exact what it was, east or west, they took a side avenue in the airspace and flew down in the south and came up from the south into where this location was. Completely caught these guys off guard, had no idea where they were coming from. And then by the time they knew what hit them, all the aircraft were heading out north back to Iwo Jima and all the bases. And it was over within maybe a few hours, maybe a couple of hours. This whole entire thing was over, and the whole world knew. That's essentially how this all went down. And again, this was a flex of so many different things, from DOJ to DEA, the military, obviously, Space Force, Cyber Command, every component. You want to talk about a joint operation? This is going to be the definition, the modern day definition of a joint operation, and this was legitimate. And all these narratives, guys, and again, if you watch my show on Sunday and yesterday, all these narratives about regime change are bullshit. Complete bullshit. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly what the invoice of power means and why this is so important and happening now. Again, countries like Canada, and I've been saying this, and again, this has nothing to do with the Canadian citizens. Trump made Canada even more relevant than they already were. We don't need Canada. Canada had their chance to make a deal with Trump. Carney's a little bitch and didn't do anything about it, and he's basically still pushing London and their entire apparatus, their old guard apparatus of controlling money and resources. And now what Trump has done has completely just sideswiped and flanked Canada as far as resources and trade and everything else, we really don't need Canada now. We didn't need them before. Now we really don't need Canada now. And not really too many people are talking about Canada. A lot of people are talking about Greenland, Cuba, Colombia, obviously. Bam, and this is the thing. People are trying to say, like, they're trying to make this out to be one thing or the other. It's all of the things. It's oil, geopolitics, future, setting up power for the next century. It's all of these things. And why the main theme that I want people to really keep in mind here right now is the fact is Americans that are awake have been so accustomed to getting fucked over, psyoped, lied to, promises given, and then promises not being kept, right? Everyone thinks everything's the same. Government's the government, the politicians, the politicians. They're just going to do the regime changes. They're going to get us to endless wars, all this and that. Trump is a different monster, a completely different monster. And he's proven himself time and time again. And this is no regime change. And why I want to point this out, let's talk to the actual people that live in Venezuela. I want to bring in this video for a very important distinction here. Venezuela was already set up. They had everything they needed. America helped set up their oil industry, their infrastructure, everything. It was a well-run business, and Venezuela was booming. That's the difference here. Take a listen.
Because I just can't believe that you look at Venezuela, and if you are honest about it, truly honest, because what I want to talk to you, Daniel, is what's it like growing up in a communist country? We've spoken about the economic realities of it, but what's it like growing up under an oppressive regime?
Yeah.
What happens to you when you criticize Chavez? Or if you're a journalist, I've got my stories from my family, but we'd love to hear yours.
Well, I'll tell you, growing up, I had a great family, very loving family, but that suffered tremendously. I think that what's interesting about my story is that it's not exceptional.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a middle-class family. My parents owned a gas station in Venezuela, and we used to make maybe $1,000 to $3,000 a month in the early 2000s. That's pretty good, especially for Venezuela in the early 2000s, before the inflation we've had adjusted. By 2016, when I left, we were making $100 a month. That is the reality we faced. We had cars, I went to a good school. We lived in our own apartment. That was our property. And then we didn't have electricity. And then we didn't have water. And then we had to line up for food. And when we didn't have electricity and we didn't have water, I had to carry up 5 floors, the water jug on my shoulder as a teenager. Good workout. But it's going from a first world country to a third world country. That is what's so painful, because all other socialist countries were never so rich as Venezuela. Think about the Soviet Union. The Russian Empire was a terrible place to live.
Yep.
The poorest empire in Europe. Think about China before Mao. Even before Mao, China was a desolate, terrible place to live. Think about Cuba. Cuba was maybe the most okay-ish, but it's still much poorer than Venezuela was. But Eastern Europe, ravaged by World War II. I mean, how many problems did Eastern Europe have before Soviet socialism? Venezuela was a rich and democratic country, and it became poor because of socialism and became authoritarian because of socialism. And that is why the case of Venezuela is so important for all of us in the West, because it is what could happen to us.
That is the difference here, guys. That is the key distinction. They are already a Democrat powerhouse in Latin America. And then socialism came in and it destroyed everything. Destroyed everything. And why I've said, and I've said this very importantly yesterday and also Sunday, this is not a regime change. You cannot have a regime change when the people of that country voted for Maduro's opposition. That person won, and Maduro shut down the elections, jailed everyone that was for it, killed and tortured, God knows, and raped how many people, and just said, nope, we're not going to go through with that. We're just going to steal this election, shut it down, and Maduro's going to remain the president of Venezuela. It was stolen from the people. It was not a sovereign government. It was a narco-terrorist state that was also allowing all our main adversaries to come in, have infrastructure, and subvert everything and be basically a base to fuck with America and our allies in the regions. And for presidents that have been around for a while, including Trump, because I can tell you right now, Trump definitely wanted to take care of this in his first administration. Did not get around to it. Was dealing with enough bullshit. Second time, second Trump 2.0, the Don Road doctrine is booming, and it's not going anywhere. The message was sent. This is our hemisphere, And we are now going to be purging the cancer out of this hemisphere. And guess what? This is going to be hurting London more than anyone else on this planet. It's going to really fucking hurt Russia. It's going to really hurt Canada. And it's also going to really hurt China, which is all music to my ears, guys, because guess what? You know what America lost sight of, fam? America lost sight of being winners, being the superpower that we all know we are and what we were capable of, but never really able to tap into that because we were always told we're the aggressors. We need to feel bad about being the conquerors, about all the great things that we were able to achieve, the white guilt, all of the suicidal empathy that the woke mind virus offers, communism, destruction of the individual, destruction of freedom, and wanting to, as Mamdani has said, the warm embrace of collectivism, guys. The warm embrace of collectivism will be the downfall and the death of your families and the death of your country. That's why the irony to me about Mamdani being in New York City while Donald Trump goes and pulls off something that this world has never seen before, and then parading him around in New York City, it just doesn't get much better than that. It doesn't get much better than that. And why is this so America first? This is probably one of the most America first things that Donald Trump has done because Donald Trump is setting up this country right now. As long as we can maintain leadership that is MAGA, we are setting up leadership and the dominance of America for at least the next 100 years, no doubt about it. Because when you go to Venezuela and you see what's going on in Venezuela, this is what the people are doing, not what these lefties are doing in New York City, Chicago, LA, and all the other woke-tard blue shithole cities. This is what you're getting. You have Venezuelans calling Donald Trump, Uncle Don, family, familia. Thank you, forever gratitude. You guys understand how many more people are going to be going back to Venezuela now? You know how great that is for us to have more people leaving our country, and nothing against the Venezuelan people, but they actually had to run away from true brutality, murder, probably the death and ending of their families. I understand that. This isn't some fucking sob story about all kinds of people that really don't need help. They just want to come over here and subvert a welfare system, get rich, and make their families wealthy on the backs of American taxpayers. This is not what this is. These people had to run. They had this, I don't know how, a third of their population was displaced. That's millions of people. And now millions at some point are going to want to go back. And they should go back. It's the country, it's going to take some time. It absolutely will take some time, but it'll absolutely be worth it. And the thing is, fam, when you look on the ground, and this is why, like, at this point, the Democrats, the liberals, they are losing at every single turn because things like this, when you see people here in this country, quote, protesting, it's all paid, it's all garbage, these people are forever lost. They cannot accept reality, and this is one of the funniest examples I could find.
You should check out that communist flag over there.
What brings you out here today?
Where I'm organized with the Revolutionary Communists of America. We're out here to say hands off Venezuela, and we unequivocally stand with the people of Venezuela against U.S. imperialist aggression.
What do you think about the people of Venezuela celebrating on the streets? What do you think about the people of...
Oh, wait, I never saw those.
Venezuela celebrating on the streets today?
I saw images of Venezuelans being bombed after the U.S., bombed Caracas. So I'm not sure what you're talking about, but
they never know those videos, right? They never know those videos. They never see them. It's just social media that people live on. We didn't see those though.
Yeah, I think you should definitely
show me the bombings that you're talking about. I didn't see any.
I don't know. I just saw it on Reddit. It was on the front page of.
I saw it on Reddit.
Retard
That'll
alert.
do it.
Retard alert.
That'll do it. All the bombings, right? Of all the dead civilians, right?
Reddit.
So,
okay.
I don't know.
But what do you think about the people celebrating? The hundreds of thousands of people that are in the streets celebrating.
I have yet to see it. Can you show me that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah, because we actually have video. Yeah, sure, we'll show you that.
U.S. imperialism.
People celebrating on the streets here. What do you think about that?
I mean, at the end of the day, I stand with the people of Venezuela against U.S. imperialism. The U.S. has no right to bomb the people of Venezuela. The U.S. has no right to kidnap another
Why are they all
another.
Celebrating? Why are they celebrating?
I don't know. Do you have a correspondent there who can ask? I'm
trying
here
to get
demonstrating
out there with
against.
the airspace
I'm here
control.
demonstrating against U.S. imperialism and the U.S. intervention.
Is this AI though? These images of
Isn't it crazy, guys, when you look at the rest of the world? Because you're having, and I just saw it in the chat here. I just saw someone right in the chat. Someone had a liberal neighbor that hates Donald Trump, but was so happy about what he did for Venezuela. Because you want to know why? People that aren't brainwashed, that actually live in these countries, they understand they have to live it. They have to worry about getting tortured, kidnapped, raped, disappeared, all of it. And then when Maduro leaves, they're all celebrating. What do you have? You have leftists out here crying about Trump and international law and all kinds of other fucking nonsense. And this is what you're ending up with. And you have, as far as Hispanic, Puerto Ricans, Latin American people in general, I have not seen one of them say, wow, yeah, really hate Trump or really glad about what he did with Venezuela. Because the people that, and this is the thing, a lot of these people, guys, from these demographics, they know someone, friend, family, Venezuela, something. And they all know, the ones that live there know how truly evil is. And the brainwashing done here in this country, you see the stark difference in it. And guys, they are losing at every front as far as future voters and where the rest of the country is going as far as populist movements and what Trump has accomplished and what he did. You can literally show these people celebrating in the streets and they have no idea. And guess what? The real Venezuelan people, they see it and they know it.
Venezuela, Venezuelan people are criticizing Trump for what he did in Venezuela. They say he bombed and kidnapped our president. No. Let me be clear. That man was never our president. He's a dictator. We didn't vote for him. Our elections were stolen. And when we protested, our kids were sent to prison. Minors were tortured. Girls were forced to prostitute themselves in prisons just to get food, to get a piece of bread. And where were all of you then? Where were all of you, liberals? Where were all of you? Where were all of you? You said nothing. You did nothing. But now you suddenly care about international law? I mean, now you all talk about human rights? Maduro didn't lead Venezuela. He kidnapped an entire country. So, no, Trump didn't kidnap anyone. No, he did not. He removed our kidnapper. And for that, we're thankful. You can divide politics all you want. But don't tell Venezuelans, do not tell Venezuelans how to feel about being free from a dictatorship.
And guys, like, obviously I wasn't really paying too much attention to Venezuela, you know, with everything going on in this country. It's always America first. It's always what's going on with us, obviously. I found videos of Maduro's regime and tanks straight up running over protesters. Straight up running over protesters in highways. Just mauling them. Backing up, going. They're online. They're grotesque. It's poison to your soul when you see shit like that, but it's out there. It is out there. And this is why so many people despise these leftists that are out here, and they're losing it, guys. They're losing it.
I hope you know you lost the Hispanic vote for generations. Testing the capture of Maduro and asking for his release has offended every single Hispanic voter that there is in the country. Every Hispanic voter knows somebody or has family members from Venezuela or South America.
Yep.
Everybody knows how horrible the dictatorship of Maduro and Chavez has been for Latin Americans. You just keep proving to everyone over and over again that you don't know what you're doing, that you don't care about anyone. You only care about your optics and what it means to be opposed to the Republican Party.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And that's where that's all going. That's where it's going. And what you're going to get here, guys, and this is where we're going to get into the invoice of power and who's projecting it and how that's going to go down. Because this is not just words. And guys, if you have been watching me, at least for the last 3 months, even the last 2 months, what did we go over from Promethean Action? The national security policy and what Trump announced to the world about what he was going to do. Bring back the Monroe Doctrine, bring back the Dunroe Doctrine, and shut shit down and let everyone know this is our side. Do not fuck with us. Do not fuck with our borders. Do not fuck with our friends. Don't fuck with our dollar. Don't fuck with us, period. Or you will find out. And now you're getting from Steve Miller, which, by the way, Steve Miller's going to be running a lot of this now, not just Marco Rubio, but Stephen Miller. And this is the attitude, guys. This is what America has been so numb to for so long. They're not used to it, but they're going to be getting used to it. This is Steve Miller.
There's going to be some posturing that occurs when a nation has been so thoroughly defeated in this way. The United States of America, think about this, Jake. The United States of America has encircled this nation for months. One of the largest naval armadas in history has been stationed off its coast. Yeah. Fighter jets have been encircling the island. We've been engaging in kinetic lethal strikes against Maduro's drug boats and trained Arauca gang members leaving the island. Yeah. We have launched a complete oil embargo of the ghost fleet, the dark ships.
We've been
now
covering
on
all
top
of
of that, and now on top of all of that, right? Maduro is sitting in a jail cell in New York, as is his wife. So of course there's going to be, this is very important though, of course there's going to be some posturing. Okay. Without giving anything away, I want to be very clear. Very clear. The government has sent messages, this is such an important point, Jake, to the Secretary of State, to our senior U.S. government official negotiators. They have sent message after message making clear that they will meet the terms, demands, conditions, and requirements of the United States. Okay. And I want to be very clear about that.
We're going to get more into this interview a little bit later because Steve Miller was relentless against Jake Tapper, and you can see the messaging, guys, because this is not just about Venezuela over the weekend. This is going to go into Colombia. This is going to be Cuba. There is a domino effect happening here in real time. And what Miller is saying at this point is that, listen, Venezuela will do what we fucking tell them to do. That's what's going to go down, because guess what? Any other country, anyone else doing this, it's going to fall apart. It's going to, and guys, it could fall apart at any point down the road. Who knows? We still have to yet to see how this is all going down, right? We take this shit day by day. But he mentions something, guys, that not a lot of people are talking about, and he mentions the shadow fleet. I've seen this in news really pertaining to Russia more than anyone, because the ramifications for all this economically, this is going to really hurt Russia, because guess what? Because of America now and taking over those reserves in Venezuela, that's going to be considered a strategic asset of the United States, and they have a huge hand in that now. And guess what? We'll be able to now leverage the price of those barrels. And guess what? If that price gets a little bit low, below 40 or even hovering around $50 now, that's going to cripple the lifeline and the bloodline to Russia's military and their economy to keep their assets running. Because what do you guys even know what the Shadow Fleet does? I didn't realize this till a couple days ago. You know how we put sanctions on countries? We hurt them economically. That's usually the go-to outside of having full-blown war. You got sanctions on certain people, individuals, entities, or entire countries, and guess what happens? That really confines them economically, right? So basically, what the Shadow Fleet is, the Shadow Fleet, think of them as like mercenaries of the oil industry, basically. Think of it as like almost drug running, but not drugs, but in the vein of oil. And basically, countries that have all these countries that have sanctions on them use these shadow fleets to basically traffic their oil. And this is how they've been doing it for so long. And guess who's running out of our oceans right now are those fucking shadow fleets. Because guess what we're doing? We're taking their ships too. We're taking all we got the oil embargo, we're taking their ships, and we're taking it all. Nobody is getting out from underneath this, guys. Think of it as a giant fucking sphere around our half of the planet is currently being established right now. And this is what Steve Miller is talking about. No one's getting out of this. And the best part about this is, guys, is that people that are crying about international law and you can't do this, you just can't do this. This is the thing. This is the thing. The world, in my opinion, post-World War, have gotten so soft they have forgotten what it costs to defend the freedoms, the food, the good times, the security that we have. People have forgotten that it takes blood, legit blood, violence, force, and a whole bunch of other things, including miracles, to get to the point to where countries are now. And that doesn't just stay the same forever. It will eventually be threatened. It will eventually be attacked by people that want to take over your shit. And what happened? Europe got soft. They got really soft. Didn't think that it would be a problem with Russia. And look what happened with Russia. They said, fuck this. We're going to go take Ukraine because guess what? That land is ours. And they've been at war now for almost 4 years now. America has always taken the position in the last at least 3 or 4 decades that we're the aggressors. We're always taking over shit. We need to rein it back. We have been, basically, guys, we have been the force used globally to make sure that trade and the dollar remains the top dog, the petrodollar. And we have been out, our military has been out all over the world to make sure trade routes are good, a whole bunch of shit. And what's happening now? Trump is reining that back in now to our hemisphere and just protecting what's our own. And guys, this is all maneuvering. This is all maneuvering for the decades and security and resources, trade lines, everything for decades to come. This is what's happening right now. This is not just about oil. And the funny thing is, and I said, again, we'll talk about Canada here in a little bit. I just thought this was fucking hilarious. Do you guys want to see what happened in Canadian oil and gas today? Getting fucking wrecked. Getting wrecked. There's a saying, right? Whenever Trump gives you his first deal, you better take his first deal, because after that, it gets progressively multiplied by worse tenfold. And guess what? Canada is going to get wrecked over this, and they absolutely should. Not the people. Fuck your government. Your government is run by liberal retards. Complete liberal retards. And by the way, a direct guy from the London Bank, by the way. How's that going for you, Canada? How's that going for you? We're going to get all the intricacies of all this. So this is where I wanted to show you guys something very interesting, because, and where this is going to ultimately end up going. Dan Bongino was coming back from FBI, the second in command at the FBI. I believe that was the plan the entire time. That I didn't know that then. Definitely think it's that now. He went in with specific objectives and specific cases that he wanted to work on to get the results that he wanted, and he got it. I think the January 6th pipe bomber, maybe some other things we'll find out later on, that's what he wanted to take care of. Dan Bongino, and now also Charlie Kirk getting assassinated, left a giant vacuum for retards to fill in the space for the MAGA alternative media. And a lot of the MAGA alternative media, guys, is dog shit. Complete fucking dog shit. And a lot of them aren't MAGA at all. A lot of them are liberals that are basically wearing skin suits to pretend they're about MAGA, but they're what I call, and what I've also adopted, the halal right. They're all about the Jews. They're all talking about Zionism. They're all talking about that, but they literally will not talk about any other enemy of our country besides the Jews and Zionists. They are a cancer. They are a cancer, because it's not just the Jews and the Zionists. Obviously, we see what's going on with the Somalis, right? It's not just Jews. It's tedious and gay, and it's low IQ shit now, and a lot of people have fell for the psyop, and a lot of people won't ever admit that they fell for it, and that's fine. That's fine. Here in woke societies, you won't have to go through that. You'll have as much clarity as I can possibly give you, okay? Because what you're seeing from that side right now, and what Dan Bongino is going to be doing when he comes back, he's going to be setting the record straight with a lot of this stuff. And the days of the, quote, stop the infighting, and no. Those days are over. These retards need to be called out. They need to be exercised like demons. Because what you're seeing from the whole alt-right right now, you're seeing clips, what I'm about to show you. And this is what I showed the audience yesterday on my bonus show yesterday. You have people showing clips of Maduro calling out Zionists, calling out Netanyahu, calling out Israel. And it's almost like these people want you to be sympathetic to them because they called out Israel a few times.
El arranque de lo que pudiera ser una guerra de mayor dimensión que supere a la de Ucrania y que supere a la guerra, al genocidio de Gaza, porque estamos hablando de potentes unidades militares de el Líbano, de Yemen, de Irak, de Irán, entre otras. Así que Netanyahu está buscando incendiar todo el Medio Oriente con una guerra que uno sabe cómo puede empezar, pero uno sabe las derivaciones.
So he calls out Netanyahu for always wanting to set fires in the Middle East. And is he wrong about that? Obviously not wrong about that. That's not the point of showing you this. You have the halal right now, these infiltrators in the MAGA movement basically trying to force people's minds to have any kind of sympathy for these fucks here at all. People saying Maduro is a good guy. He called out the Zionists, he called out the Jews. He knew what was going on. As if that eradicates the hundreds of thousands of Americans this motherfucker killed. That's what should be the top priority here, bringing this man down. He killed Americans. Straight up killed them with his drugs. And God knows whatever else he did with the subversion, working with our adversaries and our enemies. But oh God, he said something that he called out the Jews. Here's the prior guy. Here he is. Hugo Chavez. calling the same people out.
La nación más agresora en la historia de la humanidad. Se atrevieron a lanzar bombas atómicas sobre ciudades indefensas. Allí están Hiroshima y Nagasaki. ¿Qué cosa es esa? Han invadido Panamá, bombardearon y mataron a miles, quemaron un barrio entero para llevarse a Noriega, acusándolo de narcotraficante. Y allá está preso el que era presidente de Panamá. Yo tengo varios alertas que me llegan, incluso desde algunos espacios que no son realmente aliados, sino gente seria, preocupada, de la operación que está en marcha, diseñada en el Pentágono. Eso viene aproximándose. Y es una operación de varios años. Hace varios años me lo dijo alguien. Me dijo, te van a terminar acusando a ti de narcotraficante, a ti.
You were a drug trafficker.
Exactamente. A ti, Chávez. No es que el gobierno apoya o que se permita, no. Te van a tratar de aplicar la fórmula Noriega. Es uno de los planes que en Estados Unidos se ha venido desarrollando. Están buscando la manera de que se asocie a Chávez directamente con el narcotráfico. Y luego cualquier cosa es válida contra un narcotraficante que es presidente. Pues. Un viaje a cualquier país del mundo y llega un comando y se lo llevó. No se trata de Estados Unidos. No. ¿Eh? Invadieron Irak con la excusa de que había armas de destrucción masiva. No las hay, no las hubo.
So what I want you guys to see here, because I'm pulling these videos from the same, they're all straight up anti-Jew accounts. All of them. And what they are trying to do here, because what Maduro has said in the clip I just showed you, what Chavez has said in that clip, there is some truth in those videos. There is some truth in those videos. What they are attempting to do is psyop and manipulate people and having a basically a black and white issue of this. You either have to think they're good or they're evil. These people are fucking evil. And just because they share their same opinions on the Zionists and Israel does not make them any kind of sympathetic figure or people we should be cheering or having any kind of empathy for at all. They're all murderers. They're drug traffickers. They're the worst human piece of shit. And I'm seeing the whole halal right that is all about Islam and all about Muslims trying to get people, and Americans specifically, to empathize with this shit. It is cancer. It is straight up cancer. And I've been calling this shit out for a long time, from Candace Owens to this retard here like Jesse. And you guys know this guy. You guys know this guy, okay? Over the summer, I opened up a bunch of my shows with his clips. He was all about MAGA, right? All about Trump, all about, make America great again. And guess what he's captured by? Guess what he's captured by? The Jew stuff. I just want you guys to get a clear picture of what I see every day when I try to keep my audience away from, because the wolves are out to destroy our minds.
I'm trying to shoot this, but I just can't fucking stop laughing because some people out there, they think Dan Bongino's gonna go scorched earth. He left the FBI where he was a fucking CIA cocksucking mouthpiece, and they think now he's gonna come back. Dude, he is going to spew Fox News talking points. And if you haven't figured out what's going on here, like when Dan Bongino tweeted out this summer and he was like, I've seen some shit and it's shaking me to my core and I'll never be the same, that means he was never going to be the same, and now he was only going to do what they told him to do, and that's why
he goes on a three more minute tirade here, guys, and this is what I have to say about all this. You think Jess here, or Jess, who the fuck his name is, knows more than Dan Bongino, knows more than what Trump knows more than the Trump admin? All these people that have a mass following so quickly, you think they're about it. You think they're about it. And they get psyoped so quickly, as if this guy knows what's really going on. You think Jess knows here what's going on? Fuck these people. From Candace Owens to these types of people, fuck all of them. Because, guys, they are subverters to our MAGA movement. The MAGA movement is what's going to save this country. Fucking Thomas Massey. This is the whole all right. Thomas Massey. This retard here, David. You guys all know this retard. Huge retard. Ian
retard
Carroll.
alert.
He's a leftist.
Retard alert.
He is a leftist. Not MAGA. And another one, Sneeko. There's dozens of these fucking clowns, fam. Dozens of these clowns. They all think it's cool to jump on the bash the Jew train wagon. That's been the going thing since the whole thing with Israel and Hamas kicked off a few years back under Biden's administration, and it made a lot of people a lot of money, a lot of followings. The Overton window moved. There was some legitimate red pilling going on, but it turned into Israel and the Jews are everything. We got caught up in that stuff too for a little while, guys. And that's the thing. Like, people that just showed up to this show now after not seeing me for 5 years on YouTube have no fucking clue where we have gone and the things we have talked about if you were not here in the last 5 years. Zero clue. We talked about all this stuff at nauseum. At nauseum. And this is what's being called out right now. This is a big reason why I think Dan Bongino is coming back. And oh, by the way, who piled on the attacks? Just like the whole all right? Oh, that's right. Marjorie Taylor Greene going on over Meet the Press over the capture of Socialist Tyrant Maduro and her talking shit about this entire thing. Fuck all of these people. They are a cancer to our movement. And you want to know why? Because they are not used to a president that is actually acting like and using America as the superpower and believing in America as the superpower that it is. And Americans, and you can't really blame Americans too much. The ones that are on the fence with this are kind of uneasy about this. Reminds them of the invasion of Iraq, weapons of mass destruction, 9/11, all the prior wars and things we got into. Yes, but fam, Trump was not in those administrations. It's completely different. And Bongino has been going on a tear the last few days, even getting into a spat with Matt Gaetz, going after everybody. And guys, you understand, I was not a Dan Bongino fan for a very long time. Most of the time that I've been doing this. But what got me to respect Dan Bongino was the fact that he left a multi-million-dollar podcasting gig to go into a thankless job that is going to follow him and haunt him, for better or for worse, for the rest of his life, to give that up, to go work under Kash Patel and go actually try to enact change instead of just talking about it behind a microphone in a studio, putting his entire family at risk, his own finances at risk, his whole life. He will be hunted down by the left for the rest of his life. And yeah, he still gave that up, did not care, and put himself in the crosshairs. As a man, I respect that. And that's why I'm good with Dan Bongino. I was not a fan of his show prior to that. He's been going on a tear. So let me add this from the jump so there's no confusion. I started in this movement as a candidate during the Tea Party movement. And I began my political commentary career shortly thereafter. I helped build this movement. I'm sure as hell not going to let it get hijacked by a group of black pillars, life losers, grifters, and bums. We are a movement guided by truth. The essence of conservative ideology is the preservation of internal truths. We're not the, quote, latest thing group. We're not political cannibals. I watched quietly from the inside while doing the job I was hired to do, but I'm back now and it's time to restore balance to the force. And he goes on to say, as we get ready to make some announcements about the future of the show, I also want to warn the haters and the zeros. We've been at this a long time. We live for this stuff. This isn't our first, second, or 10th rodeo. We've seen a lot of dipshits come and go. We revel in making you angry enough to show your asses. It's glorious. We've got midterms coming up, and there's no time for bullshit. This admin is cooking, and real change is simmering. If you're spending your entire day bitching and whining with 3/4 of the term still to go, then please find the exits. There's no time for it. It's not infighting when you excise a cancer, killing the host. It's outfighting because you're not part of the movement I'm familiar with. Looking forward to big things ahead. Can't wait to tell you about it. Dan Bongino's first live stream back, guys, is going to probably break internet records. And I'll absolutely be tuning in because he has an absolute inside track now, seeing stuff that'll probably keep him up for the rest of his life. And we need more voices like Dan Bongino back into the MAGA alternative media sphere. We just do. And it's triggering a lot of fucking people because what did it get filled with? People like Candace Owens, people like Ian Carroll, the entire halal right. And the whole thing, guys, again, the next thing, this whole Jew thing is one of those things. It is one of those things in certain regards. The younger generations, they are fully aware of the atrocities that Israel has committed the actual true World War II history, about everything that went into that, from World War I, World War II, all of that. I was red-pilled on that shit, guys, the first Trump administration. It changed my worldview in a lot of ways. But it didn't take over my entire life, and everything after that, it's always the Jews, because I think I just have a good, balanced mind. That's just me, though. That's just me. I was red-pilled on that shit years ago. Not now, like the majority of people that I see today. And I'm just like, listen, I've been there. I know. A lot of it's shocking. The 6 million, the Holocaust, all that stuff. It's shocking. I've had that go through my system already. And then I got really turned up when Hamas attacked or was allowed to attack Israel on that October 7th. And then the overtime window shifted from there, and it all went to shit after that. So yeah, you people that are out there that always want to talk about that stuff, understand it's just the cool thing right now. And it'll be around for a little while, and that's fine. It's not everything. And it's okay to admit when you were wrong and you got duped by it. It's fine. It's fine. It's not everything. It really lowers your IQ, and I really believe this. It really lowers your IQ. Because if that's going to be your worldview, you're going to miss a million other things happening, and all you're going to do is screaming about the Jews. You look like a fucking idiot. You look like an idiot. I research this shit every day. If it was always the Jews, it'd be reported as always the Jews. This is where I want to bring the show. This is where everything comes together, and you guys we're going to tie all this together, what Trump is doing and why Canada is royally fucked. Royally fucked. This is Infantry Dort, the invoice of power. For all the crying haters of U.S. power projection, you mistake American peace for a donation. I really want you guys to listen to this. Peace is not mailed out like aid packages. It's underwritten by carriers you don't build, by logistics you don't maintain, by men and women you didn't raise, and by a debt of blood you never agreed to pay. You mortgage your future and outsource your security. Now you project morality instead of power and call it, quote, sovereignty. And what he's talking about here is the virtue signaling. Virtue signaling does not protect your country, does not take over. A superpower does not use the morality as an excuse in the virtue signaling over true sovereignty. You guys want to know what true sovereignty is? There's 3 countries in this world that can actually defend what it puts out to the world and the shit talking they put out there. That is the United States, Russia, and China. They can actually defend their interest. You cry foul when America decides the bill is due. When we choose to remove a parasite like Nicolas Maduro from the bloodstream of a hemisphere we kept stable for generations, you say it's illegitimate, unfair, and that it violates norms. Norms are written by those who can enforce them. You ask if we think peace is benevolent. No, peace is transactional. The price is alignment, stability, and order. If you don't pay it, someone else will, eventually with interest. And guess what's going on? A perfect example of that right now. That is Greenland. That is Greenland. Why do you think Trump keeps talking about Chinese and Russian ships just all over the place in the Arctic in our backyard? If we don't do it, they will. The foreigners, the invaders will do it. This is the sickness of the post-war world. A civilization feminized by safety did not earn, mistaking feelings for force and outrage for deterrence. You boo and hiss about sovereignty while cheering mass migration, institutional decay, and the slow-motion rape of the West. Your moral vocabulary is loud. Your martial vocabulary is empty. So understand this clearly. If you disagree, do something about it, because your boos mean nothing to a nation that has seen what you applaud. This is a mask-off moment. You don't have to respect America. Fear will suffice. We are not cruel, merely structural. Gravity does not apologize to the weak for pulling them down. Fire does not explain itself to straw. America is strong. You are not. That's not personal. That is simply the way of things. Power is the rent you pay to exist unmolested in a violent world. If you refuse to pay it, don't be shocked when the landlord shows up. I sometimes blackpill too hard, but lately I'm starting to see America might not be in total decline, just hitting puberty. So yeah, it's about to get weird, but we aren't going anywhere. And for the soft among you out there, I guess you're just going to have to deal. And this is what I was talking about yesterday in the bonus stream, guys. I understand people's angst with the FBI, the CIA, our intelligence agencies, the way that America goes about its business. Is it moral? Is it good? Fam, The way the world works is not based on morality. Is it good or bad? It's just not. And you don't have to like that. You can hate it. You can love it. The thing is, fam, without the CIA, without the FBI, without these things that we have used to project our power, guess what? Those things go by the wayside. You don't have what you have today. You just don't. America is a cartel. We are the strongest cartel in this entire planet. We have to act like it. And we haven't acted like it in decades. Americans have gotten accustomed to, feminized it. Outrage and emotions and virtue signaling have become the norm, not actual power projection. This is what Trump brings to the table. He understands this, and guess what? Who understands this more than anyone is our enemies. That's how this all is working. And some people say they don't like it. They're not good with it. Well, guess what? This is how the world works. And he even writes here called the Museum Civilization. There is a peculiar class of modern Western who believes history has been permanently retired. They speak of conquest the way a child speaks of wolves, simply confident it no longer applies. We'll never have to defend ourselves again. Offended that you would even mention it and deeply upset when reminded that teeth still exist. They insist the world runs on rules now and that borders are sacred. Also, that true power has been replaced by paperwork. This belief is not moral in the least. He says it's fagging archaeological. It's fucking archaeological. They live inside the institutions built by violence, defended by men they no longer understand, and guaranteed by forces they refuse to acknowledge. That is our military. Like tourists wandering a fortress, they admire the stonework while mocking the idea of a siege. They confuse order with nature every single time, then blame the person that reminds them of this. Civilization is not the default state of humanity. It is an achievement that is temporary, fragile, and expensive. It exists only where force once cleared the ground and still quietly patrols the perimeter. A lion does not debate the ethics of hunger, neither does a starving empire. History is not a morality play. It is a pressure test. When pressure rises, abstractions collapse first. Laws follow power. They do not precede it. Property exists only when someone can prevent it from being taken. Sovereignty is not declared, it is enforced. The modern West outsourced this enforcement and forgot the invoice existed. So when someone points out uncomfortable realities, whether about Greenland, Venezuelan, or the broader balance of power, they respond with ritual incantations. You can't do that. That's wrong. That's against the rules. As if the rules themselves are armed. As if history paused because we asked nicely. This is how empires fall, not from invasion alone, but from conceptual rot, from mistaking a long season of safety for a permanent condition, from believing lethality is immoral instead of foundational. And this has been us, guys, for at least 30 to 40 years. Every civilization that forgot how violence works eventually relearned it the hard way. The conquerors did not arrive because they were monsters. They arrived because their victims could no longer imagine them. The tragedy is not that power still exists. The tragedy is that so many have forgotten it does. I don't know he needs to hear this, but civilization is a garden grown atop a graveyard. Ignore the soil and someone else will plant something far less gentle. Hate me for being the messenger asking the hard questions about conquest if you want. You're just wasting your time. Boom. Boom. And this is why I'm saying, guys, this is what Trump has projected to everybody. To everybody. Including Colombia, which we're going to get into now, and you guys are not going to want to miss the next clips because we're going to get into the most recent Promethean action video and how Canada is directly in the crosshairs and they done fucked around and now they in big trouble. Guys over on Kick, Rumble, X, YouTube, make sure you're moving over to pill.net right now. The links are all in the chats, pinned to the top of the chats right now. Please head on over there. We'll see you guys over on Pilled, Kick, Rumble, X, YouTube. We'll be on there for the rest of the show. You're not going to want to miss it. Absolutely fire. Let's get into it, guys. We'll see you over on pill.net. Goodbye, my friends.